Well, let's stick with this and we can speak now to Tracy Walder, who's a former FBI special agent and CIA operative who specialised in anti-terrorism. She joins us from Dallas, Texas. Tracy, thank you for being with us. What's your reaction to these warnings from Britain and the US?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I think these warnings are extremely serious and need to be heeded, very much heeded by the British, by the Americans, by the Australians. I'm extremely concerned about the security around the airport. I think what we're seeing right now is a power struggle, really, between the Taliban and ISIS-K or ISIS-Khorasan. I think that right now it's turned into almost a battle for control over the airport, and I fully agree that it really isn't in the Taliban's best interest to allow that to happen. So my hope is that perhaps these evacuation efforts can go forward.
We've seen these pictures of hundreds, thousands of people outside the airport. What could ISIS-K be planning? What are they capable of?
So that's a great question. I lived in Afghanistan and spent a good deal of time there when I was with the agency. And there are several entry and egress routes from the airport. My best guess in terms of what they may do, there's a couple things. We're looking at like singleton suicide attacks. They tend to favor things like truck bombs, bus bombs, car bombs, parking it outside of the vicinity of the airport, because we have to remember the American military is inside the airport, not outside the airport. So my best guess is anything is going to happen around the perimeter of the airport. They also have access to mortars and things like that. They can lob over the walls and the fences. So there's several different ways that they could perpetrate an attack.
Just speaking generally, how big a presence is ISIS-K in Afghanistan?
ISIS-K in Afghanistan, it's mostly in eastern Afghanistan, sort of in the Nangarhar province area. They are not a large presence in terms of the area that they take up. However, what we saw recently in intelligence reports is that a lot of key ISIS members were being moved from places like Iraq, places like Syria, into Afghanistan for placement as they sort of saw the situation in Afghanistan devolving with the announcement of the American troop withdrawal. So right now, I would not say, that they're this large, formidable, organized force. However, they have the potential to be, and I think that they're working on that.
What are their goals and what's their relationship with the Taliban?
The Taliban, like the previous person mentioned, the Taliban and ISIS are enemies. Really, ISIS feels they want sort of a global caliphate in Africa, in the Middle East, in Europe, in the United States, in Latin America, throughout the world. And their biggest point of contention between the two of them is that ISIS does not feel that the Taliban is stringent enough in how they apply religious law to the people that they govern. That's really their core difference and their core issue. Also, ISIS, quite frankly, uses social media far better than the Taliban and far better than Al-Qaeda. So they have a couple things, I guess, going for them in terms of recruitment and swelling their numbers.
With days to go before US troops are due to leave the country, what will they be doing on the ground to mitigate against any potential attacks by ISIS-K?
That's a very difficult question to answer, and one that makes me feel, quite frankly, a little bit hopeless. As I said before, our military is very much inside of the airport rather than outside. However, we had Director Burns of the CIA meet with members of the Taliban leadership a few days ago. My best guess is that we are trying to remedy this situation through intelligence channels, utilizing the Taliban to ensure safe passage of people to the airport. That's the biggest issue right now, is not being able to safely get from one location to the airport. So that's my best guess in terms of how this will be resolved.
Tracy Walder, former FBI special agent and CIA operative, thanks very much for making the time for us.
Thank you for having me.